but we all have to like show up and in a way that's not adding to it, and maybe even better than that, helping, you know. And that's
Yeah.
what, to me, like the practice and healing world, that, you know, that's where that really comes into handy. Like, how do you
Yeah.
face such great degrees of suffering and chaos and upheaval with an open and brave heart, and not lose your seat, so to speak, you know, not lose your ground and fall apart.
Hello, my beautiful people. This is the Nereyda Ramirez podcast. I'm the host, Nereyda, a speaker, meditation teacher, life coach, world traveler, and so much more. On this podcast, we will discuss things from the small moments in our days to the biggest realizations in our lives. We will have deep conversations about our passions, our dreams, our careers, everything about spirituality, and further share our human experience through storytelling. From the presence of fear and doubt to our journey of self-love and healing. This is a space where we embrace everything about being human, where curiosities get explored out loud, and where you will feel inspired, supported, and accepted. Thank you for joining me, and welcome to the Nereyda Ramirez podcast. Hello, vibrant souls. Welcome back to another episode of the Nereyda Ramirez podcast. Like always, I'm so grateful that you're here. And if you're new to this podcast, welcome, welcome, welcome. Before I move forward, I would love to ask you guys to please subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcast. And thank you in advance. So I'm really, really excited to share this episode with you guys because of the beautiful guest who is joining me today, and also because this episode feels very meditative. So I'm really, really excited to share everything that we talked about and this guest and just so many good goodies. And before I share this episode with you guys, I would love to share more about who the guest is. And with that said, from our heart to yours, I hope that you enjoy it. So the special guest today is Noel Coakley, and he's an independent licensed mental health counselor with a master's degree in counseling from Lesley University and special education from the University of Massachusetts. He is also a certified yoga instructor, supporting a holistic and mind-body approach to wellness. His experience from years as a special education teacher benefits his ability to support differentiated learning styles and needs. Noel has been practicing meditation since 1996. Beginning initially with the Indo-Tibetan traditions and then the Yundrung Bön tradition since 2013. Over the years, Noel has been fortunate to learn from over 100 teachers, including His Holiness the Dalai Lama and His Holiness the 34th Menri Trizin. In addition, Noel is a student of David Nichtern, founder of Dharma Moon, with whom Noel works as an assistant director for the Mindfulness Meditation Teacher Training program. As the founder and director of the Boston Center for Contemplative Practice, Noel has created a welcoming space where individuals can explore their own paths to healing, recovery, development, and flourishing. Beyond his professional life, Noel is a loving father, husband, brother, musician, and friend to his dog, Clementine. So, with that said, much, much, much love. And here it is. Oh, there you go. Hey, Noel. So, welcome to the Nereyda Ramirez podcast. I'm so excited that you're here and really grateful that you're here as well. And I'm really looking forward to having this conversation with you.
Yeah, me too, Nereyda. I'm so happy just to see you and to get to talk. And thanks for having me on. It's good to catch
Yeah,
up.
Yeah, of course. So one of the things I was sharing a little bit before like this episode or I began recording how I wanted to start the podcast with like what the fuck with our current times, and even with the conversation that you and I had a week ago was like it felt like you were the perfect person to talk about of what's going on in our current times with our country, in our world, and you are in this world of this practice where it's Eastern and meditation, and there's that world that you're in. And I also feel like you're in this other world of the Western mental health. You have both. So I felt like it was I was looking forward to asking you with that in mind, like how do we find the stillness and work through the anxiety in our current times in our world?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, first I'd just echo that. What the fuck, like I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, I don't know. Just I feel you in the sentiment behind that question, and yeah, I don't entirely know the whole answer, but I can share some things I think about now. For sure. One thing that comes to mind, and I balance this with like the unique situation we're in, like the unique set of circumstances, the unique way things are coming up, and that people are suffering, and on like an individual and on like a larger community level. But at the same time, I think about like the entirety of history,
Mm,
and just how many cycles of fucked up it's been, like over and over and over again. Like, so there's this sort of yes and, like, yes, it's bad, and it's been bad maybe forever, like,
mm,
or in cycles over and over again.
yeah.
Like, I just think about like any given place or time you could live, any particular period of history, like what would that experience have been like? And somewhere in there is some great degree of suffering, like, and the flip side of it, as there is now too, like, and there's like
Mhm,
compassion and there's wisdom and there's, that, so that these cycles like have happened, and I
mhm.
guess that piece just saves me from the like the second arrow of it's never been bad before kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
It's
like
like
it's never been bad before of what do you mean?
oh, it's never been this bad. It's like, well,
Okay.
there's been people killing each other since people were around each other. Like, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it's like there's I think a way we can get sucked into like this situation being like, oh, this must be the end of times. But like,
I
how
see.
many? Do you know what I mean? Like, how many periods of history could you have like probably legitimately felt the same thing?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was probably bad then too, and then it changes, and then it shifts, and then it gets better, and like, so maybe
Yeah.
this is another way of saying like whatever it is, it's impermanent. It's like the good news, bad news of the thing. It's going to keep changing, and it, like it
Yeah.
always has, you know.
Yeah. I could actually resonate with that because I work for the elders at a call center now, and somebody had brought up last week how everything that's happening with like nuclear, right? Like it kind of being like, is there going to be a nuclear war anytime soon? And it reminded her in the 50s having drills in elementary school.
Yeah,
And she was like, oh, she was like, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I remember we did the drills. And then she talked about like the Vietnam War, and it just clicked how you were expressing of, oh, I don't want to worry about this if I can choose because it feels like it's just a cycle and it's just happening in my lifetime in a different way. But
yeah,
it's going to continue to happen as we move forward with our future generations.
yeah, yeah. And it doesn't mean, I think there's a version of that could be like, well, this keeps going around, and then you kind of get nihilistic, or like, well, so the hell with it, and you kind of like you don't play your part. There's like a cop out version of that. And there's a like, yes, that's happening, but we all have to like show up and in a way that's not adding to it, and maybe even better than that, helping, and that's
Yeah.
what, to me, like the practice and healing world, that that's where that really comes into handy. Like, how do you face such great degrees of suffering and chaos and upheaval with an open and brave heart, and not lose your seat, so to speak, not lose your ground and fall apart.
Which is a
Oh,
great like question same thing. It's like, how do you find the balance? How do you find the balance of being aware of, okay, like it's a repetitive cycle, like we're in it right now. I don't want it to add stress to my life without being, maybe I don't know if this is like the right word to use, but without being so ignorant to the fact that like it is happening and it's very present and we can't just ignore it.
yeah. Yeah. Well,
And then
in the yeah,
like at the same time, right? It's like, oh, how do we be proactive and be part of changing or healing others or healing ourselves? So where is like that? It feels like it's a dance, but it also feels like where is that balance?
totally. Yeah, it does. And that, to me, feels like that balance that sometimes they talk about in the Buddhist framework of um, ultimate and relative, or wisdom and compassion, or the extremes of like nihilist and eternalist. Like, so,
Mm.
like there's a way you can go nihilist, like, well, none of this really matters. Everything really changes. It's all a dream anyways. And you're just like checked out. Right. And
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the other end, there's like a clamped down version of freaking out about reality, and like being like, oh, this is bad, not realizing things are going to change, not realizing that like things aren't set the way they seem, not realizing that like our sense of self is, not so
Yeah.
set. So it's like the clamped down version that's not healthy. There's the checked out version that's not healthy. So like overwhelmed or spaced out, you know?
Yeah.
And there's like a practice, like not some exact perfect ideal, but like there's some middle ground, or
Mhm.
we're like balancing the wisdom of like, yeah, things change. Yeah, everything's connected. It's not set, with compassion to like, and we're all still feeling this, and we all still feel our own individual experience, So like that wisdom, compassion balance, I can't help but think about this through that Buddhist framework. It's just how my understanding of things. Um,
Yeah.
but that dance that you call the dance, I think of it that lens.
Yeah. And what do you do for yourself as we're in these times? How do you find your own stillness or your own balance?
Yeah. Well, I think the idea of stillness sometimes gets misunderstood as meaning like my mind is still in a way that I have no thoughts or I have no feelings,
Mm.
or like
Mhm.
everything got hit on pause and just like flatlined or something.
Okay.
Um, but stillness, I think we can find that in our practice of the stillness of awareness. So, like through something like mindfulness practice, where we're practicing, as watching or directing our mind at something like breath, and then watching when all the other things come up. And we're not trying to stop them, we're not trying to chase them either, but
Yeah.
just the watching of that keeps us from taking the ride on all of it,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And it's the watching that's still.
Okay.
It's the awareness, it's the space of awareness itself that is still, that things come and go in, like thoughts and feelings and everything's happening. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to find stillness by just like flattening everything out and making perfect circumstances in my life, and like once everything's settled I can find stillness, but instead like finding stillness that pervades that chaos,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know
Okay.
um so that's one thing I find helpful, is like, oh, I'm getting caught in the chaos of thoughts, feelings, or events, or you name it. Then I have to try to like flip where I'm coming from to being awareness of those things, or recognizing that we are awareness of those things, rather than identifying with those things. And taking the ride, you know?
You're saying, like,
It's
clinging
just,
on to them.
yeah, that's endless chaos, like up and down, no matter what's happening in the world. You know, the thoughts, the feelings, the whatever is gonna keep coming. So that kind of stability, you know, so it's not concentration, so like I can flatline my brain and everything goes, but
Yeah.
like feeling the stillness of space, like spaciousness, like awareness, like space. So that's what's not moving, you know?
Okay. I really, really like how you explain that. I really, really do, because I don't think I've ever explained stillness like that. And it's so true. It is like that. And it reminds me of just meditations that I've guided where the way that I lead it is, oh, yeah, whatever's coming through and whatever's arising within you, see it as clouds passing by through the sky. Like,
Mm.
don't cling on to one cloud or the other, but just watch it come through and let it go.
Yeah.
And same thing, like, it pops up with, Ram Dass. He's mentioned in some of his meditations, it's like when you're at a river or just you're watching leaves fall from a tree, and you're just watching it, right?
Yeah.
If it goes down the stream, it's like you're not trying to grasp, like, where is the leaf going? Like, is it like, "Oh my god, where is it now?" Like, it just went through, another rock. It's just very much, "Okay," like, it hit the water and it's going.
Yeah.
"Oh, there's
Yeah.
another leaf."
Right. 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 And in your description, like with watching the clouds or watching the river, it's right. The stillness is not the clouds. The stillness
Yeah.
is not the things in the river, but it's in the awareness. Like that,
Yes.
whatever. Not that you can even find where that awareness is, but it's like that's what remains stable. And
Yeah.
and 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 I had a teacher used to talk about, like, he used the phrase, oh, what was it? Changing your basis of operation, meaning like when we're lost in thought or lost in feelings or lost in external events, like that's where we're operating from. Like
Mm.
I'm in a thought story, I'm just operating from that as like my full reality. Or like I'm
Mm.
angry, I'm just operating from anger, right? Just in it, like I am angry, even that sentence. But
Yeah.
once, as soon as we're aware of the thought story, aware of the anger, now we're operating from being awareness instead. That's
Okay.
what identified with. I'm identified being that limitless field of awareness, loving awareness,
Mm.
rather than identifying with the thought story or the whatever, you know? So it's like, again, without trying to flatten anything, that stillness comes from shifting our basis of operation or what we're identifying with as
Yeah.
be, being that field of awareness rather than being, the thought story or the feeling or something.
Yeah. What pops up as you're expressing is how that's how we can create peace in our lives, or it's because I think even with, like, peace or the good feelings, we feel that, or there's maybe, like, a thought that we're not supposed to have all these other things.
Yeah.
And as you're expressing that, it feels like, oh, yeah, like, that's how you create peace, where if the anger is present or the frustration or whatever the chaos is happening in your world, it's being aware of it and
Yeah.
not attaching to it, but just like, okay, this is what's happening in my reality right now, and it's present.
Yeah.
Because I think in the other aspect, it's like, of course, like, I've been in it and I've seen it in other people where they're really in it, and there's no, like, separation of that awareness, and you can feel the tension in their body or in their energy or in their field.
Yeah. 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 I've
So
certainly felt that way plenty of
yeah, yeah,
times. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I was like, "Me too."
Yeah, you just don't see like, oh, I'm in it right now. And then there's that gift of like, as soon as you go, oh, I see I'm in it right now. Like then
Yeah.
all of a sudden there's a shift. Nothing went away, but we're just coming from somewhere different on it. And like you said, that's where not even creating that peace, but finding that kind of peace. And it's a peace
Mhm.
that's beyond, this is a good situation, this is a bad situation. This is a good feeling,
Yes.
this is bad feeling, good thought, bad thought. It's irrelevant to those things. And without negating them, without
Yeah.
without ignoring that that's part of what's happening.
Yeah. It
Um,
feels very open. Like, it just it feels exactly what you're saying. There's no judgment of good or bad. It's what's happening, and you can still create peace as life is happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. With all the juicy feelings and all the thoughts and all the humanness. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm so curious to ask you too, how does one even begin to learn to bring that awareness to that?
Yeah.
Like, is it
Well,
meditation? Is it other stuff? I know that you also are very aware of like the mind-body connection. Is it
I think,
exercises with that?
yeah, I think different people will find different inroads, right, as to what helps them develop that watchfulness. And some might be more embodied practices, that, like, for example, some people will approach yoga as like, it's a workout, it's good for my body, I'm moving, I'm stretching, great on that physical level, and maybe shifts my mood state too, cool. And then
Yeah.
others might use that as their moving practice for
Nice.
awareness. Like, I'm watching with mindful awareness, loving awareness, what arises in my embodied situation, what arises emotionally, what arises thoughts, doing that sitting still. So that's a way to approach awareness practice.
Oh.
As you know, mindfulness is the seated, version of it in terms of formal mindfulness practice. You can then apply mindfulness to anything. But taking something like breath, practicing, trying to pay attention to it, not for the sake of being hardcore concentrated, but just as something to keep you tethered so you can watch when everything else is happening, and just keep coming back so you don't get too caught up in it. It's just a device to, maybe more than concentration, practice the watching with awareness,
Okay.
and identifying with awareness. And I think even I work as a therapist as well, and sometimes I'm talking with people and we're like on the fly identifying, like, oh, these are the feelings that are coming up, and these are the thoughts that are happening for me right now. It's like a live narration.
Okay.
That can be a way where people are developing awareness of what their experience is, just by talking it out loud to people.
Okay.
So that, I think there are a lot of roads in. I'm definitely biased on the meditation front, but like,
We
I mean,
do.
that's really, yeah, but that's what that word means. That, remember that broad term meditation, gom in Tibetan, GOM, means familiarize. So all meditations are various types of practices to help us get more familiar with things, the qualities of heart mind, awareness being one of them. So there are a lot of different means, or skillful means they call them sometimes, to develop that.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So
What
one
do
of
you
the
think? I mean, are there ways you can think of that other people might have an inroad? Like, if maybe they're not drawn to like the idea of mindfulness practice, like how else might you tell somebody
I would
or
say
open that up?
just kidding. No, I think for me what pops up is journaling is like a great way to start to be mindful of what arises. Because I think with journaling, it's like we're so easy to ask everybody else, like, how are you? How are you? How are you? And I don't think we ask ourselves enough that. And I think when people ask us, I don't think we take the time to, it feels like it's such a fallback of, oh, we're good, we're fine. But I don't think we take the chance to really sit with it and be like, well, how am I really?
Yeah.
So with journaling, I always, when I do like, when I have life coaching clients, that's like the first thing that I do is like, here's some homework, ask yourself how you're doing and write it down.
Yeah.
So I feel like if people have never had a practice of any type of awareness in that way, I feel like that's a really great way to start. Because in that moment, it feels like, yeah, like you may be second guessing, like, should I write this? Should I write that? But at some point, you get into the groove of it and it just comes out. Like whatever you're feeling, whatever is going through your mind, it just comes out through your writing.
Yeah.
And I feel like
That's a good one.
that's a great way. Yeah. And
Yeah,
even like
good
taking
one.
that time to really be by yourself, I think too. Because I think especially in our world, it feels like we're always on the go. And if we have families, like work, right, we take it home. We have like our to-do list when we get home. And I think for me, it's also like take some time for yourself. Even if you want to sit at a park and do nothing for 10 minutes, it's see what happens, like see what arises for you. Like I think that's like another great way to start to build a practice or start to become aware.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into like hiking. I love Mother Nature, and when I started to become more aware of just feelings and thoughts, and I was going through like a hard time in my life, and hiking was that outlet for me of like, what is going on? Like, why am I feeling this way? Like, why do I feel so dark? Like, this is not who I am. And then when I would go hiking by myself, it would be like, oh, like, I don't like this in my life. Like, oh, like, I'm in an unhealthy relationship. And then it became more of like, crap, like, what do I do with all of that? But it also feels like it's baby steps. Because I think that,
What is it about hiking that made that easier for you?
I don't know if it's maybe the connection with Mother Nature, with, it brings a lot of just being in the moment. Like the butterflies, the bees, the colors of the flowers, the like the weather, if it's cold or hot, like it really brings me into my body as well.
Yeah.
Right, like the dirt, right? Or if there's water, it's like I'll take off my shoes and now I'm in the river. And it feels like a very safe place for me.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important too, because we have to feel safe to to be aware, to start to really dig in within. Because if we don't feel safe, we're not going to want to do it.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
also, like, one of the things also for me, it's like, it's a lot of like emphasis of like, we don't have to do anything with it. Because I think from my own experience and just hearing, it feels like when we become aware, we have to do something about it. And it's like, we don't have to. Like, we can just be in whatever space we're in. And like you mentioned, like just bring that stillness and that awareness to what's arising, and that's it. Like, that's enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so loving. And so counterintuitive, right? Like, I mean, or maybe counterintuitive is maybe not the right word, but like counter the way we conceive of like what we're supposed to do. Like, I got to do a thing with this. How do I
Yeah.
fix? How do I solve? How do I? Yeah.
And that's scary for some people. I think
Yeah.
of just marriages pops up for me, right? Or because that's where I was in it. I was engaged and I didn't want to get married.
Yeah.
And for me, it pops up of like when you become aware of like, I don't want to be in this relationship, but it's scary to be aware of that. And it's scary to like take action on that. So it's like, you don't have to do anything about it. Just be aware that you don't want to be in it anymore. And that's
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
for that moment in time.
But I'm hearing you name too, though, that tendency we might all have to just be like, nah, I'm good on realizing that reality, right? Like all those games we
Yeah.
play. Yeah. Yeah. That's hard.
Yes.
That's hard. That's hard.
Yes. And that
Yeah.
too, it's for me, it's like when we're not seeing it, it's like we're unhappy though. Right? When we're not seeing the truth of what's arising for us and our reality in that moment in time, it's like we're still really unhappy. Like we're not fulfilled. Like there's anxiety. And it's like the moment that you just take a little peek, there might be a
Yeah.
little bit of relief, a little bit of, whew, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe there is a light. Maybe there is peace. Maybe there is that
Yeah.
other thing that I really long for.
Yeah.
But that part to like take off the blindfold is extremely hard, or it could
Yeah.
be extremely hard for people.
Yeah. It feels like that might, what you're naming might be like why so many people have a tough time with things like sitting down to try something like meditation or just sitting alone and doing nothing or walking outside alone without like podcast, 15 other thing, phone call, something. Um, but you should listen to this podcast when you walk. I wasn't that. No, I'm not knocking
Yes,
out
yes.
podcasts. You know what I mean?
This is for you
With
guys.
all the distractions, right? Is and people, I feel like all the time, I bet you hear this too, like you sit down to practice and it's all like they feel like it almost got worse. Right.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, it got busier, or like, no, I think I'm making it worse, or I'm having more feelings, when it's really just like, you're realizing how many are really happening at all the time, and we're just not aware of them, or it's
Like a
easier.
great thing.
Yeah, great, and overwhelming sometimes, right? But ultimately good. Yeah, long term good, short term maybe challenging.
Yeah, overwhelming for sure.
Yeah.
My boyfriend and I, we recently moved into like a small town in the mountains, and I was talking to one of my supervisors back in Orange County, and I sent her photos, and she sent back a message saying that's so isolating. And she had talked about not being able to be alone because there's so much that happens, right?
Yeah.
So my boyfriend and I like have these conversations of how peaceful it is for us. But same thing how you're expressing, it's like it made us very curious as to, oh, like if there's so much going on and maybe that stillness or that awareness isn't present so much in your life, maybe living in the small town in the mountains is scary. Like it may be sitting in a meditation practice like so overwhelming.
Yeah. And we've certainly, in addition to maybe having those protections up so we don't go right there to that whatever comes up, then we're in this world now where there's so many things competing for our attention and pulling on it, and so many addictive things, like just baseline, we're all addicted, into some, even just the phone. So many things pulling on our attention that just fuel the fire of not sitting down and being still with whatever's coming up. It's against the stream, as they say, to just sit. It's hard.
Where do you think, I don't know if you've thought about it, but where do you see it going moving forward? Do you think that, like where do you see this practice that we're talking about being in with if anything, with all of everything else that's also going on with technology and addiction and
I mean, I maintain faith and hope, and I guess it's not blind faith in the sense that I feel like I've had enough direct experience of the goodness of other people, and I believe that is our fundamental nature, like a limitless capacity for love and for wisdom, and for recognizing that we're interconnected and never separate from the beginning, and I trust that, to know that I think humanity will keep going in the cycles, but that's the underlying situation, and there may still be cycles of suffering that comes from confusion and not being familiar with that fundamental nature of our being, that fundamental underlying goodness, like the kind we come into the world with when we're born, and then like slowly learn otherwise, that's like standard issue, like for everybody. And then maybe you experience a lot of tough situations, or learn some things that like build up a story that now kicks off ignorance and fear and aggression and all. I still, even in the most fearful, aggressive, and like violent and oppressive people, underlying all of that confusion is that same nature. So I hold hope, that like over time, eventually we go around cycles and cycles again to go like, oh, we're at this same fucking place again. That none of that worked. None of that work, none of these grabs for power, none of these trying to get over on other people like actually lead to the kind of happiness and peace that you think you're going to get out of that shit, like eventually that bubble bursts, you know, for like individuals one at a time, and then groups of people, and it snowballs, you know.
Yeah.
So I hold hope, you know. I think, and that, because that is so fundamental to our nature, that there are like a million ways and a million traditions and all different ways that people can like come into contact and familiarity with that. You know, I think it's the fact that it's already right here that gives me faith that like there's nothing to lose. What can we lose? Like it's going to be okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
You
That's
know?
sweet. That's really sweet. Yeah. It's like
You
we're
know, it
born
doesn't
with
mean, yeah, we're born with it. This, we're never anything but that, you know? And but then we slowly learn like, oh, I'm Noel. They keep pointing this way at this body or this direction in the room, and they point over there, and that's the dog, and that's the table, and I'm Noel. And then I learn, oh, Noel is this, Noel is that. This is good. This is bad. This is how I get love. This is how I don't. Like, not seeing that it's already right here. I don't have to go get it. And like all the things build on top, but like what's underneath that never went anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I have faith that we all connect with that in some way. We don't have to make it. Even connect is not the right word. We become familiar with that it's here, because it's like we're never disconnected from it either. Like,
Yeah.
it might not feel like that. It might not look like that. We might not see that in each other.
Yeah.
That to me is what all the practices are about. That's what healing is about, is recognizing actually nothing's broken, you know? It's the unlearning of the story of the brokenness and the woundedness, you know, without negating what caused you to start feeling that way in the first place. So it's not throwing, you know, invalidating that. But that's why I think everyone, you know, we're all going to find our way home, like, because we're already there. It's just like that. It could be rough, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. It pops up like a home bean, like at the mountaintop. And we have all different journeys together, like different hiking trails. But it's like, oh, we're all going to the same peak. I just hold like, we're all finding that place.
Yeah.
In some way, that's what pops up.
Yeah, agreed. A lot of ways up. But a lot of ways to recognize we're already where we're trying to go.
Exactly.
There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
And that comes back to the way you're describing. There's actually nothing to do with anything that comes up. I think that comes right back around to how you're talking about that. Like, I actually don't have to change how I'm feeling. I don't have to change what just came up. I don't have to change that thought. I don't have to fix it. I don't have to make it go. I don't have to do any of it. Like, can I just stay in touch with that more broad field that is beyond and includes any of that?
Yeah. Like doing nothing. It's such a gift too. Such a gift. And I think we forget. We totally forget.
All the time. Every day. I mean, that's why one has a daily practice. You know, it's like, even day to day, go through the cycles, get caught up in much same old bullshit, and then go, oh, right.
Definitely. Yeah.
Oh, right. This again. And then you remember, and then you forget, and then you remember and forget.
It's so true. Just a couple, what was it, like last week or 2 weeks ago, I got caught up in just the busyness of life. Like this and that and this and that. And then I got sick. And it was such a remembrance of, oh, hold on, like I haven't done my practice. Like I'm getting caught up with the busyness of life. Time to go and, you know, do your practice again.
Yeah.
And then it's like there I am. Okay, cool. Like I'm here. And it's been definitely a journey, because I think I've lived in that go, go, go. And even as taking the meditation course and doing the meditation teaching and everything else that I'm doing with as a coach and meditation teacher and all this stuff, it's like I still have caught up or have lived through the go, 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 like what's next. And it's not until my boyfriend is the one that I think really has taught me, like, hey, like, where are you going? Like, why so fast? And it's like, oh wait, like, you're so right. Like, where am I going? Like, why do I
Yeah.
feel like there's a deadline to like having
Yeah.
to do the freaking dishes? You
Totally.
know? So then this past couple, like when I got sick, it was that reminder of like, oh yeah, like we moved up here. It feels like that's been our baseline. And it's like, I want to stay in it. So it's exactly
Yeah.
what you were saying earlier when sometimes we, not that we lose it, but we forget. It's like,
Forget.
okay, let me be
Yeah.
aware of that, of what's happening, and let me be aware of it again in a different
Yeah.
way. Let me choose
Yeah.
again,
Totally.
like choosing
Totally.
again.
I can
Which reminds
relate to
me,
you on all that. Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know if you've read A Course in Miracles.
No, I'm familiar with it only with working with people who were doing it, but I've never done the thing myself. No.
Okay. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
really good book, but it talks about, in some aspects, I haven't finished reading it, but like choosing fear or love. But then
Mm.
also like just choosing again.
Mm.
So even with just like the everyday life, I've been trying to practice like, oh, let me choose again to not be in chaos of like fucking dishes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like having to
Totally.
clean home. Like, let me choose
Yeah.
again and let me play a
Yeah.
movie or like music, something that adds
Yeah.
me and joy into my life.
I'm curious about this if you're open to get into it. Like I
Yeah.
am that way as well. And
Uh-huh.
I've come to discover, like, I mean, in addition to the world's reinforcement of that productivity mindset, I can remember as young as could be, like, that a lot of the positive feedback and a lot of like the experience of love was like, good job, you worked hard, like whether it was school or that, it was like all the reinforcement was through that productivity mind,
Yes.
so that fused in my brain, like, oh, like do lots of stuff equals love, like, even though it might have been more, it was more pervasive than that, but that's how that message got internalized for me.
Yeah. And I
Same.
agree. For me too. For me
Yeah.
too. And
Yeah.
even there was so much validation. Like
Yeah.
even through
Yeah.
college, so much
Yeah.
validation. So
Yeah.
much like you're doing such a great job, like good for
Right.
you, like you're so
Right.
smart, like we love you, we want
Right.
to be around you.
Totally.
So much of all of that.
Yeah.
And in some
Yeah.
ways I felt it even within the last couple years too, where like I'm back in school to do my master's.
Yeah.
And I could see my family's, like, validation and love, like, "Oh, you're doing something. We're so proud of you, like, keep
Yeah.
going." And
Yeah.
it's like, I could feel your
I
love when I
bet.
wasn't doing anything, but it's like, where is all of
Yeah.
that just living life?
Yeah. Been here. Yeah. Totally.
You know?
Totally.
And,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's been so many conversations with them where it's like, I wish you guys could see me as, like, other people see me, because when I'm just living
Yeah.
life, there's still
Yeah.
love present. There's still
Yeah.
this, "You're a great person and you're doing great things."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is a thing that all of us, like, it sounds like our styles happen to be the same, but that the universal thing is, like, everybody starts to learn some conditional love trip. Like,
Yeah.
the these are the conditions in which it feels like more lovable, more worthy, more welcome, more, and then there are other ones that are less so or totally not welcome or lovable.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that's go ahead.
no.
Well, I was gonna say, like, it sucks because I think we do it within each other too. Like, even with the people that we love the most, like, even if we don't intend it, we totally do
Totally.
that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, where's your love when I'm, again, like, just living life? Like, why is it
Totally.
that now you're there for me so much more because I'm doing this with my life?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, can't help it. And we're doing that to each other through the lens that we're doing it to ourselves, which is a reflective of
Mhm.
how it was done to us. So it's like that's either happening unconsciously or like we go, "Oh, that's a thing I do." And and to get back to that idea that you raised earlier about there's actually nothing you have to do with any of this, that
Nothing.
that gets us more towards that unconditional love. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to say this part's unwelcome. This one is. This is good. This is bad. I don't have to like partialize, hide that piece. Like it's all welcome. So it's unconditional. It's like all met with the same love, the same space, the same welcomeness, the same worthiness. That's healing too, to undo. There's some part of our mind that's probably still going to have the habit of like doing that trip. But if we can go, oh, here we go. I'm doing, like you were talking earlier about like catching yourself in that product, that go, go, go mindset and going like, why am I doing this? I'm chasing love again.
Yeah.
Nobody's even watching. Like
Yes.
I'm not even for anybody, like, what am I even doing? But it's just like autopilot jumping into that mode.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I was doing the same thing recently, almost in the same timeline you just described. Like, and I'll get more and more into it. I notice especially if I don't notice, like, oh, I'm feeling the stress of things right now. It's getting heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just slowly slip into like doing a lot, like, and I get real busy. And of course, it's all good shit. Like, so there's all sorts of justifications to why that kind of busyness is all good. And then I set myself a deadline. Nope, a deadline for a project that is owed to no one. Like I could 100% was just like, oh, it would be cool if I got this done by this point, just to give myself something to go by. And then I was like coming up on it, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should. Okay, I'll put the kids to bed tonight, and then I'll get back to it a little bit, and then I'll wake up early tomorrow. And I was like, what the
create
fuck?
your own stress.
What the fuck is happening? I'm like, oh. And then I was actually teaching class last Monday night and led this practice. Sometimes I feel so lucky sometimes as a teacher too, that like that can be what pops me out of my shit as well, because now I'm paying attention to the class. Now we're going to lead this. We're doing a type of compassion practice.
Okay.
And I had not been sitting down to like get into it the same way with myself. Like you can cop out, you can bullshit, you know what I mean? All sorts of ways with yourself, but I was there for other people.
It's so different.
And it just helped me like really be there. And then it kind of burst my bubble. And I was like, oh, I'm burnt out a little bit, right? You know what I mean? Like it actually, then I was like, I'm setting myself that deadline. Like I'm going to go back and work on this. And like, I don't know, it's amazing how it doesn't matter, can be doing this for years, these practices, and it's still like that strong, long-term habit, that conditional thing we get into just sneaks back in slow, and you go, there it is again. I did it.
Yes.
Did it.
I think it could be so funny when we're out of it in a way. It's like, oh, that caught me. I see you. Like I got you again.
That's right. We do this.
It's a reminder that we're human.
Yeah, totally.
It's a really good reminder that no matter how much practices or what we do, we're gonna get caught from time to time, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's expected.
But it's a gift to be able to cultivate the practice to get caught in our own shit.
Yeah. And I think it speaks too to having these outside things like communities or meeting points or check-ins or like little things sort of like outside your own head.
Yeah.
That like pop in and like, if we're not catching it, at least I'm going to go to that thing and like maybe that'll help catch me. Like
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
Like the beauty of community and Sangha and like, just getting outside yourself.
I wanted to ask you, like, what about rest? Because with what we were talking about, the productivity, it's taking me such a long time to accept rest.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because my boyfriend is so good at resting, and he prioritizes his sleep. And it's been such a practice for me to like accept it, because I could feel my inner like, what are you doing? Like, we have to get up early, and like the dishes. And he's very much like, I need my 8 hours. Like the dishes will get done like
Yeah.
tonight, but I'll get them done like at my time.
Yeah.
And I've had this conversation with a girlfriend where it's like we live together and it's our first time living together. So it's like, of course, I want to provide that safe place for him to also just be home. So I'm aware of those thoughts and I don't say them. But it's like, oh, like I think I'm learning from him that it's okay. And it's so funny because the times when I do sleep in, he'll send a message like, so proud of you for sleeping in, like, enjoy the day. And it's like, what? Like, I've never been, like, I've never, like, been told that before.
Totally.
So it mind fucks my brain a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm so curious to ask you, like, how is your relationship with rest?
It's not, I'm laughing because I'm like, oh, we got to get your boyfriend on the call here because I don't think I have shit to say about this. I'm not, it's not, it's like active. Logically, I know how good it is, and I'm better at logically making myself do the things that are restorative and that are like more restful. But it is not my it's not habit. It's not like I still have never been able to nap. Can't fucking do it. Can't do it. So jealous of people who are like, yeah, I just laid down for half an hour. I'm like, what is
Like, how do you do
what is
that?
your life? I don't know how you do that. And if I do, I'm like zonk for the rest of the day, but I probably wouldn't even fall asleep. Like I just wouldn't. You know, so like my halfway on that often is like finding something like without consequence to let my mind just be like, just fucking chew on this. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'll tidy up something. You know, it's not about that I care about getting done. It's just like letting my mind tether to something for a little bit, and you listen to some music or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, so it's even just sitting and watching something. I have to like be like, oh, you can just sit and watch this movie. Like, just chill, dude. You don't have to like be doing that like in the background while you're cleaning. Yeah.
So in a way, is it kind of like coaching yourself through it?
Yeah, and I'm lucky to say that. So both my wife and I are both like this, but we're both better at catching the other getting into bullshit. So we just like pull each other up. You know what I mean? Like it sounds like he does to you. Be like, hey, why don't you chill for a little bit? And you know, I'm sure there are some times that comes out very unskillfully. Like,
Oh my God,
you just chill out. You need to chill the fuck out. It's like, you know, need to hear that myself too. But we're usually good at reminding each other, or like, we've gotten better over time of actually like sitting down and looking at the calendar and being like, all right, like how are we going to get this stuff in? And when I say get it in, like I mean space, like where there's nothing happening, or like you have some time to just hang out or go do your thing or go to like get to a yoga class, you know, like the different ways each of us would go do this. Like because we know it's not an automatic habit, we'll be like, all right, we got to sit down and we got to look and figure this out, and then we got to look and put it on the calendar, because again, either of us on any given day, it's not going to be a spontaneous thought that day of like, oh, here's my window to like chill. Like I'll find something to fill that shit, you know. Like real fast.
Resonate.
Yeah, and find
Even with
all
what you
sorts
were
of
saying of like watching Netflix and doing something else, it's like
yeah,
totally. Like I'll have a documentary, now I'm cleaning, I'll find something to do.
yeah.
Totally find something to do. But with the even what it sounds like too, it's you have to talk to yourself and like coach yourself through it. The times that I have slept in, it's like I have to coach myself. Like, Nereyda, it's okay. It's safe. Like, it's okay to
No
rest.
one's mad at you.
You're tired. Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's mad at me. One time, my dad, it was so funny. It was on a Sunday, and it's when I was living at their home, and I was laying in bed, and he comes home, and he was like, "You're like a fucking cow, like in bed." And I was like, "Oh my God, like it's a Sunday, like I work Monday through Friday, like," but it just reaffirmed, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't rest, not even on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And this was like 4 years ago. Like it's pretty recent. And so it's just okay. And I could see how they live, and they're still very much go, go, go.
Yeah.
Mom's in her 60s, my dad's in their his 70s, and it's like, okay, that's not the
They
life
can't
that I
sit
want.
still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing how it goes right to like the quality of your being. Like,
Yes.
it's like that it reflects that, like rest, or
Yeah.
productivity, or what you do and don't produce. Like,
And it's insulting. It's like it goes so deep where it's not just a, hey, what are you doing? It's a, this is what you're doing because you're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just
Yeah. Totally. It's a hard one. And I feel like you mentioned you're at, going through the master's program, like academic world propagates the shit out of this message. A lot of workplaces, right, propagate this. So there's like so much reinforcing this. And then to say like, even now to each other or to like coworkers or to, or to people going through grad school, to say like, yeah, I could finish this in 2.5 years. And that's what the track is laid out. But like, I'm going to take 4 to do it. And everyone's like, are you all right?
Yes.
Like, did you get sick? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
as though, you know what I mean? Like you're doing something wrong, or like, or like, yeah, I take more time to do that. Or like, no, this is how many hours I work. Or if you're able to do that and it's not like full throttle, people don't know how to react to that, right?
That's so true. That's so, so true. I mean, I definitely fell in the trap of the short, like time, but yeah, I was thinking about it too, because it's like it's so fast and it feels like I'm just scanning through stuff, and if it's like a paper, like then it's the time to like really deeply read. And I was questioning like, why didn't I take the long like term? Right. And it is like it's part of that productivity, and like we got to get it done. It's 2 years, and there's like messages just already, like if you take a long time, it's like why? Like you have all the time in the world, right? Like if you don't have kids, if you don't have this, if you don't have that. And just because you want to doesn't feel like it's a sufficient answer. But I think a lot of that too goes back to that practice of, okay, we have to stand on our own sometimes with like believing in like, I know what I'm doing and it's okay to take time.
There
I
was
think
this
sorry. Go ahead.
There was a college, a university counseling center that I worked at for a while. That was local to Boston. I won't name it, but it's one where people are like high academic achievers. There's a lot of those around here, so I can say this with anonymity. But like people are like really good students, quote unquote, like high academic performance, like tops of their high schools kind of situation, right?
Okay.
And so working at the counseling center, like it just was like snowballing more and more, like how many people were coming in and the mental health things going on and all the symptoms of the mental health going on. And we were like trying our best to like do, to accommodate everybody, but absolutely could not. And there was one time some coworkers and I like were like trying to come up with project. There were these different professors and people on campus that kids looked up to, and they were like sort of like local celebrity type in that microcosm. And so we're like, what if we interview these folks, do like a video project and ask like, how do these people like stay balanced? How do they take care of themselves? Like, how do they pause? How do they check out? And we went through 15, 20 people, and every single one of them were like, oh, I'm not the person to ask about that. Like, I don't know. Like, so, and we're like, well, this is not good. We no models, like, and all the people that are being looked up to as the models of like adulthood in that microcosm were doing the same very unhealthy shit of like very productivity based, go, no rest, no downtime, no like very conditional productivity love situation. And so this is who You know, it was
Wow.
just furthering it. We were like, all right. New
Wow.
project, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
This is not gonna work.
Yep. This doesn't work, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, at best, maybe it gave some of those people some pause to actually hear themselves say out loud, like, yeah, I don't do anything for that, you know?
Yeah.
And
Maybe
maybe
they took
that,
it with them. Maybe they took
yeah,
it with, with them later. It's like, oh, what do I do? Like, maybe I need that in my
yeah,
life. You
yeah,
kind of
I hope
need
so.
them.
I hope so that did. But yeah, it's so hard. So
Yeah.
hard.
Well, it goes to what you were expressing too, because even people in those statuses, it's like there's so much recognition. At some point, it's
Yeah.
like a status of some sort.
Yeah. No one's getting an award for like how balanced they are, or like
Exactly.
how they know how to take a good vacation. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's like you
Yes.
cranked up more for us. It's very capitalist, you know, it's very like it's all a reflection of that mentality.
Yeah. And that's a little bit, it could be a little dangerous because I think that could also lead to so much somatic issues later. There's so
Yeah.
many other problems later in our lives.
Because we learn to ignore all that shit, right? Like
Yeah.
your feelings aren't that valid. Your productivity is. That's how you get love and worthiness. Your body
Yeah.
is not that important. Your productivity is. That's how you get love and worthiness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Noel,
Yeah.
it was so nice to speak with you.
Yeah. You too.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Before we end the episode, I would love to ask you how people could find you, or wait, first, I would love to ask you if there's anything else that you would love to share.
Well, maybe it's a summary of I think something we've been talking about here is that notion of a lot of different names for it in a lot of different traditions, but the whole idea of something like Buddha nature, and the word Buddha just means one who's awake, and like awake to what? Awake to already being a limitless field of
Mhm.
unconditional loving awareness. Like not being your productivity, not being this body, not being your thinking mind, like all this. And it's already limitless and already endowed with all these beautifully loving qualities. And like we're all already that. Like that's the whole thing, you know? So when we
Yeah.
get to take a walk in the woods and hike like you were describing, or we're sitting, or whatever practice helps us get familiar with that, like I mean, that's something I'd hope anybody would take away from any of these practices or even this talk is like, can we find our way back to being familiar with the unconditional level, to your
Mm.
Buddha nature, to your like inherent goodness, to your primordial goodness,
Yeah.
to your Christ consciousness, like a thing by a million names because you can't name it, you know, but something
Yeah.
that's beyond all the stuff that comes after, you know, and is always right here. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
we just help each other remember, you know.
Yeah. It's like we're all
Yeah.
walking each other home. We're all walking each
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
remembrance.
I love that. Yeah.
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 That's sweet. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
And
you.
where can people find you? I know you have, I don't know if you have a retreat coming up.
I do. It's full. We're going to Costa Rica
Nice.
in December of 2025 to La Fortuna for a meditation retreat.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll do probably something else in the spring. I'm not sure yet. I'm looking at a place. I got a friend who runs a place in Puerto Rico, but folks can find me on Instagram. It's Wake Up Sleepy Buddha. The website I have now is thebccp.com, which is short for the Boston Center for Contemplative Practice. But I'm almost done, maybe this week, next week, with wakeupsleepybuddha.com. So
Okay.
I'm shifting gears. I used to run an in-person, like physical center. That's what the old site was for. It's time for a new one.
Okay.
Wakeupsleepybuddha.com. Yeah.
And I wanted to extend the permission that there's no deadline.
that is one of the projects that I put my deadline on that nobody asked for.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
have
Thank you.
time.
Please email me in a couple weeks to reiterate that.
I totally will.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Of
Yeah.
course. Thank you, Noel.
Good to see you.
Yeah. And thank you guys for listening. there you go.